Hi, I'm Avery,
And I am Lily.
and welcome back to From the Closet. Today we are covering Lady and the Tramp, the 1955 version, not the 2019 version.
Why? Why did they make that into a movie? What? Who? I want to meet the person who thought that was a good idea. Like, actually.
Well, I mean, they've been doing a lot of these lately, and um, I think that version didn't even release in theaters. I think it just went straight to Disney Plus.
Like it should have.
Um, but yeah, so you'll find a link below to purchase Lady and the Tramp.
You
Um,
can also find this on Disney Plus.
yeah,
Also, since I see a lot of low numbers on the streaming stuff, like Spotify, and I keep reminding myself, oh yeah, I barely talk about this on the podcast. I should do that more, and then I don't do it. So now I'm going to be doing it. Reminder, we do have Spotify and are probably on your favorite podcast streaming service.
unless your favorite podcast streaming service is iHeartRadio, because fuck them.
Yeah. If your favorite streaming service is iHeartRadio, I suggest getting a new one.
Yep,
Also, we have a Twitter. I'm
which you
going to
don't
be
even update.
I do actually. It's
Well, you
automatic.
don't update. You don't update the Instagram. I never see new
Yeah,
posts from our
I was going to be
Instagram.
saying that. Thank you for bringing that up, Avery. Um, I'll be hopefully planning on updating our Instagram a lot more. Hopefully someone will be teaching me how to use Instagram properly because I don't know that much.
But yeah, regarding this movie, I haven't seen it in literally decades, and I remember not liking it very much as a kid. Now I think it's like okay. Not something I particularly care to watch again, but
Yeah,
I didn't hate watching it this time.
I have a
Um,
completely different background. So,
so go ahead.
um, I remember this. I was with my grandparents, and it was when his every so often we're like, we're releasing this old movie from the vault, and it was Lady and the Tramp. And I was like, oh, I want that DVD.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing I saw a lot of.
Mhm.
Back when I was a kid, was like, oh, now releasing from the Disney Vault, and it was basically a big problem because people would pirate Disney movies because they just couldn't buy them. Um, because Disney wouldn't release them. And
And now
now
we have Disney
now
Plus.
yeah, now they're on Disney Plus and purchasable everywhere digitally, so it's really not that big of a deal anymore. Um,
But I remember it was in this moment that actually, and I got the DVD. I still have the DVD when I was a kid. The Blu-ray was scratched up, so I discarded it. But I still have the DVD.
I'm amazed that the DVD got scratched up. I'm sorry. I'm amazed that the Blu-ray got scratched up before the DVD.
Hmm.
Because Blu-rays actually have more scratch resistance on them.
Honestly, I think it was a mistake throwing that away because I later found out that my PlayStation 3 was going haywire with Blu-ray discs, and now I'm wondering if the PlayStation 3 was the problem.
Yeah, the PlayStation 3s have been having issues with Blu-ray. Um,
Um,
like
my
it's a well-known thing at this point that eventually the Blu-ray portion, like the thing in the PS3 that plays Blu-rays, just stops working randomly.
I actually haven't
It
played my PlayStation 3 in a long time, in a while. Well, I actually streamed on it, but
Mine no longer works,
no,
like
yeah,
the Blu-ray thingy.
mine will no longer accept dual layer. And except,
Yeah.
like all my games, just fine. But dual layered Blu-ray, nada.
Yep.
And now I
It's
wish
a
I
massive
had that.
issue because
I wish I,
like I have a lot of
Mhm.
Blu-rays and now I have no way to play them.
Yeah, now I wish I still had that, the Blu-ray disc. Because I remember there were so many more extras on there.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But anyway, we've gotten really off track. Regarding this movie, I really like the score. I'm not a fan of the musical numbers, except for the one that plays in the beginning and then it plays
This
again
is the
later.
night, I believe.
Yeah, and that one plays again later in the movie as well.
I do love that one. Actually, because most of the time I forget about this movie, and then I remember it's like, oh, I love that.
Yeah. The other thing, like, it really like I'm not a big animal person. I pretty much only like cats and dolphins, and that's it. Um, and some fish, I guess. But like, at the same time, I really dislike seeing the mistreatment of
Mhm.
animals, and this movie has a lot of that.
Obviously
Like,
shown in negative light.
yeah, like Disney, it kind of feels like Disney is calling it out, which is good. But then they also like they did some bad with this movie too. Um,
Mhm.
like, a lot of stereotyping, and of
Oh,
course
right. I
of course they recognize that now.
I guess we should get into that. This movie has since forth been put a warning label when you watch the movie on Disney Plus. And I forget what it says, but like these this stuff
These
that's
depictions were wrong then, and they're wrong now, I think is what it
yeah,
says.
that's what I was gonna say. And obviously we're just discussing this movie and for what it was back when it released.
Yeah, but like I think it's fair to call it out that
Mhm.
like yes, it's wrong, and also I feel like Disney's not really making up for what they did because like putting that little disclaimer up there doesn't really show change. Um, like it really doesn't. It fit at the time when they started doing it with movies. It felt like just a way to get people off their back so that they could still continue to stream the movie anyway. And now it seems like they're trying to do more good representation, but they're not really doing a good job at it from what I've seen. Southeast Asians didn't particularly like Raya and the Last Dragon. Um, I think Moana, I think I heard that that one was actually pretty good,
Oh, and
but I mean,
Colombians
I'm not
love um okay, for most I guess I can't say all of Colombia loves the Encanto, but I can say from what I've seen, a lot of Colombians really loved that movie.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the representation in Encanto was actually really good, but I haven't seen it. And I'm not Polynesian, so I can't really say for sure
Yeah.
on like how Polynesians feel about Moana. But from what I've heard, it was mostly well received. It's just Raya and the Last Dragon and Mulan 2020 fell
Ugh.
off hard.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, that slipped so hard.
Yeah, but yeah, it was nice to see Disney kind of calling out animal cruelty. In particular, there's okay. So I do want to talk a little bit about stuff before you get into summarizing the plot. So there's this one scene in the movie where okay, actually before that, I'm going to talk about ladies owners. It just reminded me of like the subreddit r/straits being okay. Like Lady actually thinks their names are Jim Deer and Darling
Well,
because that's what they always call each other. Like that was adorable. Now whichever one has the aunt, I don't like her. If I found out that I let someone watch my pet and they mistreated my pet, I would literally not only never let them watch my pet again, but I would cut them out of my life. And like I don't actually own a pet, but like I would love to have a cat at some point.
it seems like the aunt has got the punishment as seen at the end of the movie.
No, it didn't really feel like she got any sort of
Well, it
punishment.
was a time lapse, so I just filled in the gaps.
But yeah, like um so another thing, like she tries to put a muzzle on Lady. I definitely don't think it's like this may just be me, but I don't think muzzling is okay ever. Um
Yeah, I cannot even like muzzling in that sense. Not fine. Muzzling where I'm like because obviously I have experience and background in a vet clinic. Oh God, it's needed.
okay. But like goodness gracious. Like it reminded me of spoilers for Avatar The Last Airbender real quick. Like the thing that she does is very clearly abuse, and it
Hmm.
reminded me of that scene in Avatar The Last Airbender when Aang found out that the sandbenders muzzled Appa, and that was the thing that sent him over the edge.
Um, and I can't actually say about that muzzle, but most
You know,
muzzles
to
that you
be fair,
actually
we
would,
never saw it.
well, yeah, but most muzzles that you'd actually see on like dogs that are, going out through, parks and whatnot, that would be, like, they're enough to breathe in. Like, they're actually not that bad. Obviously, I know firsthand, how to put them on, how doctors put them on. But, and a big part is, obviously, they're used for modes of like, oh, they're on a walk near people, probably, so they don't bite. Never should be put on, like, on a daily basis, like, just around the house.
Yeah, it definitely very clearly showed that like this was being abusive. And
Yeah.
then there's the scene in the pound, which I don't particularly like very much. Dog pounds are notorious for being horrible, so
Hmm.
no surprise there.
I,
Um,
yeah, I actually, at one of the clinics, we've worked with a, adoption center, and actually, that's where we got, one of my dogs, Chuck
yeah,
here.
adoption is definitely the best way to go with
God, they're pricey. Jesus.
yeah, adoption is usually the best way to go. You don't really want to go with breeders
Hmm.
most of the time. Uh, of course, sometimes you don't always have the option. So, like, you try to find someone who's like, I think there are options and there are ways to look into each individual breeder as
Hmm.
well. So,
Um, I, going from my experience, I want to talk about. You remember the first scene with the tramp, and he's going to get breakfast? There's this,
yes,
the one biggest stereotype with dogs. They eat bones. I'm gonna say what my mom has always said: bone on bone, one's gonna break.
yeah. And then, like, people throw chicken bones to their dogs, and I'm like, no, I think I remember hearing something about how chicken bones are especially bad.
I'm not sure, but I mean, knowing from what I know about, cooking, it could, like salmonella, but that's just a theory.
I'm I'm just personally not sure which one it is.
Hmm.
Like what the issue is. I just know that chicken bones in particular are especially bad for dogs.
Yeah, people
But
are, like, from this, people are thinking, oh yeah, dogs love bones and whatnot. Like, think about if you tried to eat bones. Your teeth would break.
I've broken bones before when eating something. Um, a- and it was very uncomfortable, and I had to spit a piece out. Like, ugh.
Exactly. Like,
But yeah, I hate eating things with bones in them because, like, that alone makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not vegetarian or vegan or anything, but like, you know, if something has like, if the meat has a bone in it, I don't want to eat it.
I mean, I like drumsticks or or ribs. Something you can actually hold with the bone.
Yeah, like I don't want to eat ribs.
Really?
Like, if I ever get chicken wings, I get boneless wings.
Mm. I know a lot of people would argue with that, but this is a movie podcast, not a. That'd actually be interesting. A
And
food
then, okay,
podcast,
so one more thing, and I'll let you get on with summarizing the plot.
of course.
Um,
Yeah.
I absolutely hated the scene with the beaver,
Hmm.
because like when when people have whistling sounds through their
Oh,
teeth, yeah, I hate it. And that was literally the beaver's entire gimmick was whistling through the teeth. I hate that. It hurts my ears. Anyway, go on and kind of summarize the plot and give your thoughts.
yeah. I find it a bit weird how you usually do it, unless it's a Disney animated film about dogs.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person, guys. Oh, also, real quick, this movie is now the oldest movie we've ever covered.
Really? Oh yeah. This movie was actually made while Walt Disney was alive.
Yeah, this movie was 1955, and our previous oldest movie was 1961.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about the movie we just like recorded last week. Then right? Nope, that's 1970 something.
1979. Yeah,
Right.
last week, the one we recorded last week was All Quiet on the Western Front, because these don't come out in order. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So we open up the scene to what was that? All Throughout the Night. Great song.
yeah,
I
that
recommend.
song.
And oh wow, they got a new puppy. And Lady is well a rascal.
Yeah, won't shut up. But then, like, Jim kind of I feel like Jim was kind of mistreating her, in this very
Yeah.
beginning, because like she didn't understand what was going on.
She was just in a box like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean this is how a relationship with dogs start. You don't really know what to do, and I think the jump cut really emphasizes, Jim's like, all right, but only for tonight. And then you see, like, months later, sleeping in the bed.
Yeah, it's like nope, you let her do it once, but like don't again, don't mistreat your pets, guys.
I find it's funny. I'm actually recording right next to my dog.
Yeah, you have like three dogs, don't you?
Yeah, though normally only one sleeps with me.
Okay.
Um, then we go through their morning routine. Um, lady, actually, and this entire scene is very accurate how it is living with dogs. And I think Jim's sentence of, "Can't you teach lady about Sundays?" I love that.
Yeah, something else I did like about this movie is like while the dogs are like somewhat intelligent, they have limited intelligence compared to humans. And then of course some dogs are resentful towards humans. Um, there's like particularly one scene very close to where you're talking about where the tramp and the other two dogs are like talking to each other and like they're arguing over the what having a baby means for a family that has a dog, and they're both right and they're both wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually kind of love that. But
Obviously, this is
anyway,
actually not that close because we haven't even met the tramp yet. But we will. Oh, trust me, we will. I love how he gets the paper and it's like, I love this, seeing less and less of the headlines. Uh,
yeah,
I find this funny how it's so relatable when this movie came out. Like you said, like this is our oldest movie in the podcast. Things don't really
yeah,
change, do they?
yeah. Like this movie's older than my dad.
Yeah. Jesus. Uh, and really, I think it is really a cute relationship between you know, the owner and the dog, and Rusty and the other one.
Yeah, the one with the disability, or
The
was
one who,
Rusty the one with, or was Rusty the one who was disabled?
God, now I don't even remember. Um,
Yeah,
I wouldn't, well, I guess disabled, but also the fact, like, and this also opens up so many theories with 101 Dalmatians because they're connected.
I would like to say that, like, the disability there, like, for one, I would say it is a disability for a dog to not have a sense of smell. I would also say the same thing for a human, but more so for a dog. Um,
Okay, it was Jock, the black. I want to say, oh my God, I knew what kind of dog he was beforehand. I knew it for a fact. Why can't I?
they're all just dog to me. Um,
I Oh, it's a Scottish Terrier.
okay, but yeah, to me they're all just dog.
Okay, so we have Jock and not Trusty.
Okay, I think Trusty's the one without the sense of smell, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and
I found
well,
Jock a bit ableist throughout the movie.
he was trying to smell like later in the movie. Can't smell. And here's the thing about dogs: they their hearing is good, their smelling is good. Not a lot anywhere else.
Yeah,
In fact, the reason why you'll find dogs eating questionable things because they don't actually have that good of taste. They smell something good and are like, "Ooh, I want to eat that."
is that why dog food is known to taste terrible?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter
Yeah,
because, and here's, um, like, people are spending like so much money on, their elite dog meals, but 9 out of 10 they're not tasting like half of that.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that, like, okay, there was this thing that happened once where we had a family member over at my place
Hmm.
back when I was living with my aunt and uncle, and one of my so that family member had a dog, and they brought dog treats that kind of looked like cheese balls. One of my cousins didn't read the label, opened up the thing, and popped a cheese ball into her mouth. And I watched her do it too, and I was like, I was just laughing.
Oh, and here's another thing they might not know. Dog treats are edible. Like, you can eat them. In fact, I've
Yeah, but
seen
she like
many vets just straight up eat dog treats before.
nah, but like she straight up gagged and was like, ugh.
Oh, that would have been funny if you didn't know it was a dog treat. Obviously, you would know dogs. A lot of dogs treats actually have white chocolate in it. This is
Is white chocolate okay? Because I've heard chocolate is terrible for dogs.
Yeah, but white chocolate has no cocoa in it.
Yeah.
It's
And I've
not. It's
also
not
heard
actually
like
chocolate. Like,
I've also heard grapes are terrible for dogs too.
yeah, you heard right. Though I've talked to my dad a few times, and he said, "Well, that is true. Not for all dogs. In fact, some dogs just eat grapes by the plenty and feel nothing. It's an anomaly."
But yeah,
These dogs are mostly working with dogs that are nearby wineries.
yeah. So anyway, moving on. Continue with the plot. We keep
Um,
getting off track this episode.
I mean, I kind of like it.
I
Obviously,
have ADHD, so I have an excuse.
well, I literally have experience in the field.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, let's get to the tramp and see how he's living his life.
All right.
So we see him waking up in God knows where, and take his quick shower that definitely doesn't look clean, and just
Are dogs ever?
fair enough. Ugh, cleaning a dog is a pain. And he just goes around his life. I do like how he's just going through random restaurants like, nah, not today. I mean, he's basically just like a real person at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Oh, but I love it the way, and you mentioned it before, but the way the dogs talk. The tramp goes into this, neighborhood after, leading this trapper. I've watched too much How to Train Your Dragon. Leading this dog, the pound person.
The pound employee.
Pound, yeah. I mean, everyone needs to get a wage, am I right? And he gets led into what he calls Snobsville. And I like how he just makes remarks like, lid on every trash can and a fence around every tree. I don't know. I just love how the dog reactions seem real.
Like they're actually dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not something I actually really thought about in 101 Dalmatians, probably because that wasn't happening.
Yeah, like 101 Dalmatians, I felt like wasn't as good of a movie as this one was.
I definitely feel that, yeah. And I can definitely see the Disney charm in this one.
Yeah, I see it a little bit more than I did
We
in
we, we have talking
101.
cats. Oh, and now there are two protagonists cross into each other while Lady is venting her troubles about that dog being called that dog and not going out for a walk. And okay, side tangent. What the frick? Why do people still use birds and the bees? What the hell birds doing to bees that makes any sense to baby?
I think it might be referring to flowers, whereas like where the flower is the baby. I'm not sure because I don't even know how birds are. Yeah, no. Thinking about that, that doesn't even make sense either
Yeah, I
because that's
this.
just bees.
I mean, there's some birds that nectar. They get nectar from uh flowers.
But yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of a saying that doesn't really make too much sense, but everybody knows what it means.
Yeah, yeah. Um. Anyway, um, Jock and Trusty are trying to explain about this baby, and then the tramp just rolls in as like, yeah, they're gonna forget about you.
Yeah, like I told you about this.
Hmm.
Like I was talking about this scene earlier, and like the tramp is right in that some humans are that horrible to animals, and honestly, some humans are worse. Oh God, some are worse. Um, but that doesn't excuse the ones that like treated the tramp like crap, and the people who do the same thing. Um, but then at the same time, like he's definitely wrong. Not all people who have pets are like that. And then at the same time, like Trusty and Jock are also wrong in saying that no human could be that cruel because
Hmm.
there are humans who do far worse.
Or ants, or aunts,
Yeah,
uh,
ant, aunt, potato, potato.
or two cats.
Ugh.
We're gonna get to that soon. Um. Oh, reminder that this movie got a directed DVD sequel. I don't know if I want to watch it or not. Not gonna
I
be
mean
covered on the
that.
podcast. It's just if I want to watch it or not.
Yeah, I actually don't know if we moved Lady and the Tramp off of our wheel.
Actually, I don't remember replacing it with anything. You have to check,
Yeah, I'll check while you continue summarizing.
of course. Um, I remember. Now here we have the flashbacks. Not flashbacks. We have the cuts, and with each month goes by, something new happens, and I want to say that while a lot of the aunts treatments back, this movie for its time actually has an actually good loving couple.
Yeah,
Like for its time period, damn. I love
yeah,
how
for its time period, because like a lot of relationships in the 50s were terrible because it was only really in the 60s that the feminist movement really, got around to like actually actively destroying gender roles.
and let's be clear here. Walt Disney, not like you can remember him for all of the movies he did. That still does not excuse what you know if Walt Disney would see what Disney is doing now, he would wholeheartedly approve. Actually, no, he would. He was from the '60s. Probably said more racism and I don't know other things. But
Yeah, because like Disney also did movies like Song of the South. I don't know if he himself did that, but that was something
I'll
the
check
company did
dates.
at one point. Yeah, like whoo! I'm glad Song of the South is not on Disney Plus, and it probably
But
never
my
will
point
be.
is, Walt Disney was a shrewd businessman, just like Disney is now.
I feel like he would be opposed to the gays.
Probably would be, but
I
he
think he
would.
was a Christian,
But he'd
and
definitely approve, buying Fox and doing all this other stuff.
yeah, like buying Fox, getting Marvel and Lucasfilms and all that. Although those were much older acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Probably screwing them all over in the process as well.
I mean,
Eh,
they kind of saved Marvel,
yeah,
so
makes sense.
like
Though,
Marvel has really flourished under Disney.
though I can't actually say. I mean, Walt Disney is also probably like because most of the time I've heard about Walt Disney is like Two Face. He was a
Yeah,
great person and a terrible person at the same time.
yeah, I've heard a lot of good and bad things about him.
Like really great things about Walt Disney and really terrible. Like there's just no middle.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, moving on. We gotta
Yeah, I
get
know.
to this movie.
I mean, I can summarize a lot of this quick. But first, let me just point out what I was going with was Jim, just like want a watermelon in a flicking blizzard. It's like, he's just like, well, okay then.
Yeah, like I can't get pregnant, but if like I had been born female and I was pregnant and I had a husband who would like actually walk out into the snow and go buy me some fucking watermelon,
That's a keeper.
it, yeah, like I would know for sure he was a keeper.
And then, oh, and I love the baby shower scene. Good thing there was no forest being burned back then.
Oh god, gender reveals got bad.
Though actually, that was before gender reveals were even a thing because back then you could only know what gender it was when it was born.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if that's just what the movie portrayed or if that's actually completely accurate. I mean, it's the 1950s, so I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know
might
how
I
long
might
you've
Google
been.
it later.
Yeah, it's like because it's ultrasound stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um. But I love how ladies with the girls are all talking about the dresses, and it's like, well, screw this. I'm just gonna go with the guys, and the guys are just doing like other random shit. It's like, well, damn.
yeah,
And then the baby is born, and I find it interesting how the dog lady flinches at the reaction, mostly because of what the tramp has said, and she
yeah,
probably thinks, oh, it's all setting in by now. But what Jim does is actually let her see the baby, which, by the way, like not animated properly. There is two different art styles in that scene, and I do not like that.
it wasn't something I particularly noticed.
Oh no, I wholeheartedly noticed how the baby was like not even drawn like everything else in the movie. They took
All
a
right.
picture of a baby and it's like, yeah, just slap that shit right there. That's the good shit.
Well, this is the 1950s, so
And then
I mean, we've come a long way with animation since
Oh
then.
yeah,
Like Pixar, like back in 2018, Pixar did Toy Story 4, and there was basically a photorealistic cat in an animated movie. Like shit's crazy now.
very true. Also, the parent, the adults sleep for 5 seconds, and then we get, "We are Siamese, if you please."
Yeah, and I think from what you were saying that's part of the reason
Hmm,
why
yeah,
like those cats are part of the reason why Disney had to put that thing up.
yeah. These cats caused a lot more damages than just to the house.
Oh yeah.
They caused they caused Disney some representation points loss. I don't know,
They caused Disney some problems.
very much so. I'll be honest, I actually do kind of like the song though, and
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really a fan of most of the musical numbers.
I've actually played this song on my clarinet. It's actually, I mean, it's also like really easy too, but like I don't
Yeah,
know, it's kind of fun.
guys, if you didn't know, Lily is Squidward.
I will come to Alabama and find you. God damn it! Now that's in the podcast forever.
Yep.
Hey guys, if you know any want to compare someone that plays pianoist, I would love that in the comments.
Yeah, but I'm probably better than them.
Yes, I'm better than Squidward. Squidward can't even get on key.
Yeah, but Squidward's also the most well-known clarinet player.
He presses random notes.
Yep.
Curb stomp him any day. And
Anyway,
um, so then we have this entire scene of where, and let's be real, the tramp is trying to help with after she gets um what was the I keep trying to say collar, but I muzzle.
yeah,
And
the tramp is trying to help, but she ends up getting captured and taken to the pound.
though, and I love the tramp. He's just as sly as they come.
Actually, just before that, there's this scene where they're kind of like on a date for some reason. And like, for some reason, I remember that scene.
Well, why
And
shouldn't you?
like, no, like, for some reason, like, I remembered that scene before going back to watch it. And it was the only scene in the movie that I had remembered.
Here's the thing, though. It makes complete sense why you remembered it. Why? Because that one scene is probably the most popular scene of the entire movie, and that basically spawned the entire spaghetti eating thing. Have like two of the characters eating it together.
Okay.
Like that actually inspired a lot of cinema.
But
And
anyway,
saying that out loud, actually, two dogs eating spaghetti inspired a lot of movies going forward. Just think about that. Anyway, oh, as also the tramp does actually cover up um like what the person said, like said in Italian, saying he doesn't speak English that well. That also could have been a reason why it got flagged as one of the movies has disclaimer. Just
yeah,
any scene with
that makes
that.
sense too. That makes sense too. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even think about that either until we got to this point. But ultimately, why it got the disclaimer is probably a snowball effect of everything the movie did.
Yeah, Because in particular, the dogs in the pound were like a lot of them were stereotypes.
Stereotypes on where their breed came from, I believe.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know dog breeds.
No, I read that off an article.
Okay. But yeah,
um,
continue. Well, like after the day, the lady gets captured, taken to the pound, where she learns about all the Tramp's past lovers, I guess. Then she eventually gets freed and taken back to her
I know
home.
it wasn't implied like this because, well, this was the 1950s. I could totally see the Tramp being bisexual. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. So, she eventually gets taken back to her home where she's put in a doghouse outside, spies a rat going into the baby's room, and Tramp goes in to, try to get the rat out. The chain tying her to the doghouse breaks, and she manages to go in as well. They kind of wreck the baby's room a bit and knock over the crib. Um,
So apparently rats are universally heated.
Good. They deserve it.
I don't know what rats would need to do with the baby, but whatever.
Yeah.
I would expect it
But,
to go in the kitchen. Just me, though.
yeah. But, yeah, so Aunt Sarah calls the pound, and I think it's like roughly at this moment that Jim and whatever the wife's real name is shows up.
Yeah. A very interesting coincidence in timing.
Yeah, for dramatic effect or something.
Mm.
Yeah, and then it's found that there's a rat, and then Jock, Trusty, and Lady stop the carriage that's taking
The Tramp, yeah.
the tramp to the pound, and Trusty gets injured. Yeah, Trusty gets injured in the process. They made it sort of seem like he died, and I was like, no, that didn't seem like it had enough force to kill him. Knock him out, sure. Break his leg, I can believe it. But I definitely didn't think he was dead.
Honestly, I don't even think I thought it was dead when I was young and first watching it. That's how.
Yeah, yeah, I think it just broke his leg, and like either the impact knocked him out, or he passed out from the pain.
Probably Impact. Um, and then we get back to Christmas. The aunt has delivered treats for Christmas.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like they've discovered all of what she did, and well, let's just say there's no more babysitting from her anymore.
Oh yeah.
and and that's probably where the second movie picks up.
Yeah. Which we will not be covering because you did not add that to the wheel.
I'm not adding that to. You would have to add that to Wheel if it can be added, or I don't know,
Yeah, I'm not adding it.
unless when we get to like our new plan on the Wheel with 20th edition, a fan could add it, but
Oh yeah, because we added a spoke to the wheel where we take requests, and for now it's just going to be requests from people we know. Um,
if we ever get a Patreon, then it could be you. But we're not famous enough for a Patreon. You would get approximately $0 from that if we started.
yeah, and I mean, like it. Of course, like um, we'd probably do is like whenever the wheel landed on the request thing, I'd immediately put up like a YouTube community post, which I'm not even able to use right now. And then like people would comment what they would want us to cover.
Hmm.
Because of course, that thing where it lands on the wheel would be recorded weeks in advance probably.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and we'd basically just pick whatever the top comment was. But, this is just speculation about what we'll do in the future if we ever get bigger.
True.
But yeah. Anyway,
Um.
moving on.
Honestly, I have a lot of memories of this. Now, my earliest memories would probably be I watched a whole lot of DVDs on my I had like this mini DVD player I would just bring everywhere. That was my life, and I loved it.
Yeah, see, like I had a TV in my room and I had one of those things that's like a DVD player and a VCR in one.
Uh,
And I used to watch a lot of stuff on that. And I think I watched this movie a couple of times and I hated it, so I just didn't bother going back to it.
yeah, no, my days were probably stuffed with DuckTales, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Oh my god, my god, I forgot. It's the one with Blue or whatever.
Uh, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
No, wrong Blue.
Yeah, the main character in that is called Blue.
Yeah,
Blue's Clues.
oh no, we're still on Disney properties.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Um, I don't
Tailspin.
know. I've never even heard of that.
First, I need to make sure it exists, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Tailspin. Um, like all of these are like 1990s cartoons.
It's
And
kind
that
of weird that your days were filled with that, considering you were born in the 2000s.
my parents got me hooked. I mean, that's why they're all DVDs.
Yeah.
They were
All
selling
right.
them at
So,
Costco.
if there's nothing else about this movie, do you want to go ahead and give your rating?
I feel like there's something burning I want to say. I mean, the visuals are okay, especially for the time period. The score was really good. Um, don't
Yeah,
give don't give pets as gifts or responsibilities, and yeah, that's about it.
yeah, pretty much. So, rating?
I haven't done my rating first in a while, so I guess I should. Um, God, I want to say maybe around the 8 point. I'll just snuff it with an 8.4.
Oof. Yeah, so, I'm giving this movie a 6.3.
Fair enough. Yeah. Obviously, I have way more positive memories about this movie than I really
Yeah,
should.
I feel like this movie is just okay. Whereas 101 Dalmatians I felt was like kind of bad.
Yeah.
And it's not just the dog thing. Like there will be a dog movie that we cover in the future, and you know what? I'm going to keep it secret for now. There will be a dog movie that we cover in the future that I adore. And
He needs,
all I will say about it to just kind of give you guys a hint is that it's a book to movie adaptation.
there's so many book adaptation dog films, and there's a few that come to mind that I can't remember the name, and I hope it's not that. I mean that
But
got like so many iterations of that. Jesus Christ. It's about chihuahuas.
This one's not about a chihuahua.
Oh, yeah, chihuahuas. Mine is asleep.
Okay, so I think it's time to spin the wheel. So spinning and spinning and spinning. Wally.
Yes!
Finally, we get to do a Pixar movie.
And I have to like reorganize it, but this is probably my favorite, if not like top 3 to 5.
And it's also one of the pillars of the Pixar theory. Because like the Pixar movie, the Pixar theory just can't exist without Brave, Wally, and Monsters Inc. I feel like if you cut out any other Pixar movie, the Pixar theory is not too damaged, really. But you cut out Brave or Wally or Monsters Inc., the Pixar theory doesn't exist.
Well, since I've talked more about the movie, I want to do the outro. I've been Lily. That's it. That's been Avery, and this is my dog Chuck. And we'll see you for next episode.
On
Goodbye.
Wally.